Today, we've got our third in our series of interviews that Patrick's going to be doing with us today with Brandi and James Johnson. And you can see they're the power couple, and you'll see why in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and bring Patrick on here and get him started, and he'll introduce Brandi and James to you here. So, Patrick, good to have you here this afternoon.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate the introduction. Folks, we've got a great live interview today with some of our successful licensees, Brandi and James Johnson. And I'm just going to see if they've got their webcam ready to turn on. And Brandi, you might have to unmute yourself there too. Hey, there they are, live.
Hi.
Thanks
Hi,
for being
Patrick.
with us today. James, I appreciate you being here. I know you said you had an appointment you had to run to soon, but thanks for jumping on here with us.
Oh, you're certainly welcome. I'll be leaving here in about 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, right quick, let me just say this, guys. Give us a feel for your background prior to becoming ABS licensees. And by the way, you came through training in February this year.
Correct.
Yes.
So you're
We
off and running already. That's good.
yeah, it's very exciting. We're actually franchise consultants, our background. So we've been doing that for a while, and really knowing the ins and outs of franchises that we work with, and that's how we identified ABS. And I also came from a sales and marketing, home health and non-medical background.
Okay, and James, did you have any medical background? I forget.
No, I didn't. I've been spent the last 20 years in manufacturing, so I have no idea whatsoever what I was doing.
All right, so for those who are not really familiar with the franchise world, I'm sure people on this webinar, some of them have been looking at franchises, obviously, but a franchise consultant, explain to us what that means.
We basically help people discover franchises or business opportunities that are right for them and their particular situation. We look at their hobbies, interests, and even financials, and basically are able to present them opportunities that are going to be a good match for them.
Yeah. We work directly with the franchise development teams, and such as ABS, we represent ABS ourselves, and that's how we found ABS. But we worked with Jason on
here at ABS, yeah.
on a couple of clients that we were referring to ABS.
Yeah, he's one of our business development coaches here at ABS. So just so people are clear, we didn't have any connection at all. In fact, I had never even met you guys until you showed up at training.
Not at all.
So the interesting thing to me was during the training, I think most of the other people in the class thought you were a plant, because we kept mentioning the fact that you guys were actually helping other people decide what business to get into. And you saw our business model and started looking into it and decided that you wanted to invest with us as another business that you're in. So I think that's a great story.
Yes, it's definitely a good story, and I mean, we know what's out there, we know the world, and we know this is a great opportunity.
Well, so tell us where you're at. You came through training in February, and this is March, April, May. 3 months later, where are we at?
Well, we have our first practice signed up. We actually got the verbal commitment from them a week. Well, it was not even a week after training. Took about 2 weeks to get, the finances established for them, contract signed. Their go live date is actually on Monday, so we're really excited. And we've got 2 practice analysis scheduled for the next couple weeks, and we have a demo scheduled for next week with a chiropractor, so hoping to get that one signed up. He's kind of been putting things off a little bit until we told him how much money he was losing by putting us off.
That's a good way to help seal the deal. Hey, Dr. Jones, you're losing $10,000 a month. Would you like to recuperate that?
Exactly.
So one of you explain, you mentioned you got practice analysis set up. Explain what that is for the folks who are on here for the first time.
Sorry about that. Practice analysis is where we go into the actual practice, schedule, a smaller time frame appointment with them, and we go through everything about their practice. What is your current rejection rate? What's your current methods for your billing and your document management? How are your patients, updating their documents that they have on file with you? It's so sorry. Have
Okay,
alarms
sorry,
going
that's
off.
my alarm. Thank you for everything, Patrick.
Oh, hey, thanks for showing up today, James. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
But the practice analysis is really just going through their practice and analyzing it. You're going from A to Z, figuring out what you can do to improve their practice, improve their processes, save time, save money. Gotten a lot of office managers on board with us who are very hesitant at first because you start talking about the practice analysis and telling them, look, I'm really here to save you time and stress. Then they become your best friend.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of different from most what you think of as sales, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing here to sell. They either need your services and can save money and increase their revenue, or they can't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not your typical where you're just going in there, hey, do you want these medications or something along those lines? It's totally different. This is actually something that once you help them realize it, they want and need our services.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real, that's a good point. It's a need. It's not just a want. They want more revenue, but they need it to stay in private practice. Some of them are, selling out to a big hospital or just going out of practice.
Unfortunately, it's happening a lot. And the first practice that we signed up, he's a nurse practitioner. He has been doing private practice, family practice for years. And when I walked in the door, he had told me, and I knew him from years ago, hadn't even seen him for years, just went in there, kind of made a warm call. He was at the point he was about to close because his rejection rate was 40%.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he hasn't gotten paid anything in over a year, and I was like, okay, stop. And I told him what we could do. That was it.
Yeah. And they don't know what they don't know, right? I mean, he probably didn't realize that it was as bad as it was until you did the practice analysis, right?
Oh, that's what's so sad. I mean, like the look on his face, and you could see the emotion, and his eyes started looking a little watery because he did not know that 40% rejection rate was not normal. No clue.
Yeah, I mean, even from the numbers we've seen, 35% is more normal. So he was above average for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
Brandi, we've seen licensees come in with practice analyses that showed 60% rejection rate. So doctors are working 100% of their time thinking that they're earning 100% of their revenue, and they're not. They're just getting a portion of it.
Exactly. It's sad. And then the reimbursements that they're getting have already been cut, so they can't afford to lose any more money.
Hey, Brandi, I see some questions coming in here on the question box. And for those of you who haven't found that, on the control panel for GoToWebinar, there's a little thing there that's called questions. And if you click on that, it'll open up a little box where you can actually type in a live question here for Brandi. So this is your opportunity, folks. If you're looking at getting into this business, what better way than to ask somebody who has been there and done that and has the t-shirt? So, Brandi, tell us a little bit about your family. I'm going to stick the picture up here that you or that James sent to us of you and your two girls.
They are crazy, wild children.
What ages are they?
They are 11 and, well, I'm sorry, okay, about to be 11. So they're 10 and 12 right now. Keep us very, very active. We go nonstop with our children. They do competitive cheerleading, competitive gymnastics. We go nonstop. And another benefit of business is we make our own schedule. And we're there for our kids. We're there for Christmas parties at school, whatever's going on, the field trips that we never could make before, we're there.
Isn't that great?
Love it.
So you're actually in your home right now, even though it looks a very, very nice office you have set up there.
Ah, thank you. But yes, this is our home.
I would guess probably, now, again, we don't get reports back from everybody when they open up an office, but I would say it's probably a small, maybe 10% of our licensees actually go out and rent some kind of commercial office space. For example, our instructor that you guys set through in February, and she'll be here next week, Cynthia, she's from the Arizona area, and she, as you know, have two boys there at her home, but she said, I got to get out of here. So she rented some office space.
We've actually discussed office space. We actually have one biller already on staff that's technically our oldest daughter. She's in her 20s, but she's going to be our medical biller working from home because she just had a baby, and she's going to have the benefit of working from home and doing the billing. But we're looking at possibly eventually opening an office as this business continues to take off.
Yeah, good. All right, so let me look at some of the questions here. Daniel says, is there a common reason for rejections? Just so people know, we're talking about when you send in a claim, or a doctor does, to an insurance company, they look at it, and for one reason or another, they can reject it. So, Brandi, what are some of the common rejections you think that are out there?
Well, I'm going to apologize first off because I'm pretty blunt about things, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. But a lot of the rejections is because people don't care. If they're having it outsourced by another, company, then they don't care. They have no personal connection with that account. They have no care if this physician gets paid or stays in practice or not. The other thing I see is if it's done in-house, it seems like it's done in-house by someone who has 50 other things to get accomplished that day, and they don't have time to continue to go back in and make sure everything is coded correctly. And then our EMRX and iClaim, like, I can't even explain to you in words. You're going to have to see it yourself of how amazing this system is, because it goes through and really does a lot of the work for you. It talks to each other. It tells the physician, hey, stop, you're doing this wrong, basically. It's just such a complex system that it helps us, reduce those rejection rates as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of it is human error, and some of it is just neglect. People don't know what they're doing. Most people who do billing for a doctor in their own office, they just learn from the person before them, on the job training.
Exactly. And if somebody did it wrong, they're going to teach someone else, the next person, how to do it wrong.
That's right. And the real benefit to outsourcing is that, you, as an ABS licensee, as a medical billing company, you actually are charging a percentage of the actual revenue collected. So your motivation is to get as much of that money in as possible, huh?
Well, that's what I always tell, my clients is, if you don't get paid, I don't get paid. So that's the basis of it.
Yeah. Okay, here's another question from Colin. Why are practices going out of business?
Well, their rejections are so high, they're not making the money. Like I was talking about the first practice that we signed up, I mean, he's about in tears, upset because he's having a hard enough time paying his staff. Well, when you look at, he's only getting paid 40% of what he should be getting. I mean, could you imagine getting a 40% cut in your pay?
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I know that.
Let's see. Colin also says, what is your expectation of the average deal in dollars? Not sure exactly what you mean, Colin. One of the ways we could talk about that, I guess, Brandi, is to give us a feel for this doctor that you did sign up. What kind of dollar volume is he billing? Not collecting, but actually billing.
Let's see. He is billing our part of it after our percentage, getting about $2,500 is what we'll be getting a month. And he is a smaller practice. He only sees about 65 patients a week.
Okay, so you're saying that you've done the math on the percentage that you're charging him, and that you will be netting or bringing in about $2,500 from him for doing this billing.
Correct. And it's only going to take us about an hour a day.
Yeah. So when people ask about ROI in business, you sell franchises, of course, they're always asking, when can I expect to get my money back? Of course, most franchises are much higher than the $25,000 licensing fee that we have. But I don't know. What do you tell people on something like that?
Less than a year with one practice, I'm going to get my money back. I mean, that's insane. Because there's no limits on how high you can grow this business.
Yeah.
So
I'm just doing the math there because I can't do it in my
what
head.
is it, 10 months or something like that?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It'll be 10 months, 25,000. That's sure at 2,500 a month. Yeah.
And that's only if I keep one provider, and one provider is not going to do it for me. I'm going to keep going. I've already got them lined out. So just that one provider that I signed up when we came back from training, in 10 months, I've gotten my money back.
Yeah. It's unheard of. No, you're right. Most businesses, if in 2 years, if they're in the black, they've gotten out of the red into the black, they're a positive cash flow, they're doing great.
Exactly.
All right. Yag says, hey, Brandi, how did you go about getting your foot through the door? Was it difficult to talk to them and to get them to start billing with you?
Well, that was actually a little easier. I came from home health sales, so I went out and saw providers and physicians all the time. So I was used to that. But most of the providers I called on are actually affiliated. They're not able to do anything right now because they're with a hospital. I'll put it that way. But this was kind of a warm call because I used to see this provider years ago. He was actually my family practice provider, my doctor. And so I would see. Hi.
Hey, there's one of your girls. Hi.
Advantages of working from home.
There you go.
But it was really easy. I just went in and I explained who I am, and I said, I've used all the tools that were in place. It really was not that hard to get past the gatekeeper and to be able to get further into the practice. It's not as hard as you initially think it's going to be. And if you use some of the treats and things that you're going to learn about in training, it helps even more.
Treats. Oh, yes. Let's not tell them. That's proprietary information, but yeah, we teach you how to basically give them food and candy, and that gets their attention, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It works big time.
All right. Let's see. Simon says, how do you determine what percentage to charge the doctors to take care of their billing?
It just kind of varies. I hate to give a percentage because it really does vary. The volume that they're doing, basically how much work I'm going to be putting into it. If I'm going to cater, the EMRX, how much I'm going to cater it to them. There's a whole lot of variables. I mean, it can be 5% to 8%.
Right. But of course, that's part of our training. We help you go through that, and once you've done the practice analysis, you can pass that by us, right, Brandi? And we'll help you with that.
Oh yes, I have Chad on speed dial.
Chad, yeah, he's in our support department, right? So there's another step there I don't think we've mentioned, but once you've done the practice analysis, then you have to put together a proposal, which we have templated proposals that you just basically fill in the blanks, right? And that's where you're actually quoting the doctor on what you're going to charge them, and we can help with that. We've been doing this for 22 years, so we kind of know how not to leave money on the table and yet not be so high that you don't actually get the account. So we'll work with you on the pricing. That's the most confusing thing to a lot of people.
Oh, and the proposal is so easy. I mean, really, you're just taking the information from the practice analysis, plug it in there, and I think that's probably one of the easiest steps that I was nervous about. And then as soon as I started doing it, it was so simple. I think I spent a matter of minutes and I was ready.
Yeah, it's It's, again, we call it a system for a reason, right? American Business Systems has been doing this and perfecting it and tweaking it every time we do the training. You probably didn't realize this, Brandy, because you've just been through one course, one week's training. But that training is different just about every time we do it. I mean, literally, it's tweaked, changed, added to. All the references are checked, all the links and referrals, everything's made sure that it's up to date.
Well, and I'm not sure who all is going to the May training, but I know Cynthia will be there because I do talk to Cynthia. We talked to her, and we were completely mind blown by the training. We thought, okay, we're going to walk in there and learn, just some basics. They really leave you without question. And then anything that you have extra concerns about or you're worried about even, Cynthia and Patrick and the whole team, they really address it with you to make sure that you have that comfort level. Cynthia even sat down and was trying to help us come up with, business names. We had ideas, websites. I mean, the commitment from the team and the amount that you learn in the training is completely, it's priceless.
Well, thank you, Brandy. You're right. I mean, I know that. I know I have a good people, and that's what a good company is all about, right? But we're also nice people. But on the other hand, we have a kind of an ulterior motive, right? We want you to be successful because the more money you make, the more we make as a company too, because we make some money
exactly
on the transactions that go through our clearinghouse. Okay, here's a question from Kathy. If a physician already has a practice management software in place that he or she wants to continue to use, will the medical billing software that ABS has, I claim, interface with it? I can answer that. You probably haven't run across that yet, Brandy, but it does. It interfaces, right?
Yes.
So we can interface with anything's out there, folks, that is what's called HL7. That's just a standard out there, a programming standard, I guess you'd call it, behind the scenes, that if the software is HL7 compliant, which most of them are, they can interface. Let's see. Here's one from Karen. She wants to know, how do you find the practice and or the doctors? So did you mention how you found this particular first doctor?
Well, all of the providers, I look through healthgrades.com. You can go to Healthgrades. They even have an app for it, and you can find any providers in your area and find out anything you want to know about them.
Yeah. That's a good one. I haven't mentioned that lately on some of our webinars. Healthgrades, Grades, Healthgrades, like you're grading the health providers, healthgrades.com. Good. Yeah, and so let's see. This one is from Yolanda. Do you find that most medical offices truly never get sales support? I'm not sure I understand where she's coming from on sales support.
Sorry, I don't think
Maybe she means medical billing offices. Like you're a medical billing office, you don't get sales support normally from anybody. If you had done this on your own, you wouldn't have anybody to turn to, but you do get it from us, right?
Right.
Okay, and Simon says, how do you evaluate the marketing support provided by ABS to help you start the business? I'll close my ears.
Phenomenal. I was actually surprised when they told us, okay, you're going to get this packet in the mail and it's going to have everything you need. I was like, okay. Well, and I was already sold. I opened this packet up, and seriously, I'm wondering, am I ever going to make it through all of these marketing materials? Very nice. I'm like, wow, very nice slicks. Every single page that they give us, very professional. It's not just your paper. It's the slick, nice paper. Everything is very professional. The folders are even a textured, very nice texture. All of the materials are astounding. The marketing techniques teach you to get past the window, the gatekeeper, everything marketing-wise, same thing, phenomenal.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of money on those marketing materials to make sure that they look professional and that they were proven to actually get, results. So I'll stick some of the pictures of some of them here as we talk up on the screen. Let's see. Okay, that's a question about licensing fee and what kind of grants and investors that are out there. Joanna, that would be something that you'd need to get back with your ABS business consultant coach, the person who invited you to this. Colin says, who are you competing against out there? Who is the competition that you run into?
Well, the one that I'm running into the most is, well, there's really not anybody locally. I would say that it's more of these big corporations like, can I use the name of one of them that I really don't like at all?
Sure. I'll edit it
Okay,
out. Recorded version.
okay. One of them is, one of the big competitors that I see is Athena, and that's the one that their rejection rates are incredibly high, but everybody thinks that it's a great system until they see ours and what we have to offer, not even realizing that their rejection rates are just horrible.
Yeah, Athena's been around for a long time, and you're right, they're well known, of course, but and even though they have I think it's a cloud-based system like ours, the rejection rate is just tremendous, and that's one of the reasons why people don't realize it, but our iClaim and our EMRX systems are actually integrated behind the scenes with our own clearinghouse, so we don't go through a third-party clearinghouse. The buck stops here. If we can't get it past the clearinghouse, it's our fault. It's not somebody else's. Faye says, will ABS help get us our first provider or client? Faye, we don't literally hand you a client, but I think Brandi would agree that we do everything that a company could do to help you go out and know how to find that first client.
Yes, definitely.
Let's see. This is funny. Yolanda heard me say something earlier about giving people candy, to get their attention in the business, in the office. And she says, speaking of candy, does ABS also serve dental offices? Yolanda, no, we don't. The dental billing is completely different from medical billing, and it's a very small piece of the pie that's out there. I tell people, once you've signed up all the doctors in the area, then you might think about doing billing for dentists. Okay, let's see. Yag says, is it better, do you think, to speak to the doctors or to the office managers when leaving them the revenue management packs? He means any of our marketing material. So have you had enough of any kind of contact out there, Brandi, to even know?
Well, a lot of times it seems like the office managers are a little guarded. I prefer to speak with the physician because it's his money, but either way, you can get in and at least get that contact going.
Right. Yeah, the main thing is just to make some kind of contact, get their contact information, and then put them on the drip marketing system that we have behind the scenes to keep your name there in front of them, because they're not going to sign up with you the day you see them, obviously. They might not even do the practice analysis until later, but we teach you how to keep that top of mind presence there in their minds. Let's see. Kathy says, do you bill the physician per claim submitted or a monthly fee or an hourly fee? I think you mentioned that earlier, that you charge a percentage of the money collected, right?
Yes, it's a percentage of the monthly collected, and then, of course, it's your business, so you get the choice of if you want to bill twice a month or monthly. But it's a percentage, and you actually are able to generate reports and invoices and send them and show them what you were able to collect and then what your fee is for that month or period.
Yeah. And that's all, again, we will give help you in making that determination as to what that percentage is, but it's pretty simple. Our system keeps track of the money that's actually brought in and collected for the doctor. And so it's simple to go find that. You can even give them access directly. I don't know if you've done that for this doctor, but you can give them a login where they can actually see in real time the status of their claims.
Yes, I've done that for this provider because I think it's just a bonus showing how great we're doing.
Yeah. It keeps everything above board. And even though they'll probably log in maybe 2 or 3 times and then never log in again, it's a good selling point when you're telling them about our cloud-based system. You can't do that with server-based software. There's some software out there that once it's installed on your computer, even though you might have some module on theirs, it's not real time, so they can't really access the real time status of the claims there. Michael says, Brandi, how many practice analyses have you done to date?
Actually, I've only done 2, and then I have 2 more scheduled.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier you have 2 more next week set up, huh?
Yes.
Good. All right, let's see. This is a question from Karen. What's the initial investment for this franchise? It's $25,000, Karen, 25,000. You'll see all that outlined on our website there. Also under, I think there's a tab at the top called, what's the investment? Okay, here's Yolanda says, Patrick or Brandi, is there a website we can go to and take a look at the site you proved? Not sure what you're talking about, Yolanda, but we do have a website that you can go to and find out more about our opportunity. absystems.com. absystems.com. Now, Daniel says, how is that spelled? Daniel, I'm sorry. I've already deleted your previous question, so I don't know what that's in relationship to. Okay, Kathy says, is there an upfront cost to the physician? You want to kind of explain a little bit how that works, Brandi? This doctor, for example, that you signed up, he had some kind of setup fee with you?
Yes, yes. And of course, again, it's your business, so you get to determine that yourself, but you do get guidelines and assistance and help and recommendations from ABS support. But it does take you time to get their system set up, get everything in place, depending on what all is needed. So yes, there is a setup fee, I don't know, $4, $5, $6,000, kind of depending on what you do for them, the amount of services that you provide.
Right, and you could include some of that might even cover giving them an iPad, which our EMRX system works beautifully on. But you cover all that, right? You're not out of anything. You're getting the money from the doctor that covers whatever it is that you're including in that, and getting them set up on our system, giving them access to the system. That's a fee that they cover in your percentage that you're charging them. So you don't pay anything each month, but they do for accessing the system and getting you to do their billing.
Right.
This is from Simon, for someone who has not been in the health field, what's the best way to approach the first client? Now, Brandi, you said that you didn't have any, well, neither one of you had any medical background, right?
I did. I was in home health sales and marketing.
Oh, you were in home health sales. Yeah. So you weren't actually dealing directly with doctors, or were you?
Yes, I was to an extent with most of the physicians, but the funny thing is the providers the one that I've signed up and the ones that I have the analysis and the demo scheduled with, I never even called on them as a professional marketer. So they were actually cold to warm calls. The first one, like I said, he was my practitioner. I saw him. I was his patient. Another one is my daughter's chiropractor. The others, they're just complete cold calls, just walking in that I didn't have any kind of relationship with them.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest fear of most people, and probably you as well, Brandi. When you come through the training, you're wondering, how in the world am I going to get, approach doctors, because it seems such a mysterious, scary thing to do, right? But we covered a dozen different ways in the workshop as to how to market, and so you just pick and choose the one that's most comfortable for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, whatever you feel good about, then you're able to use that technique, and then if it doesn't work, you still have how many providers that you can go and try another technique. I mean, you can change it up and go back to that one when you get more comfortable.
That's right. It's really just a matter of, because we're all salespeople deep down inside, right? We're selling our spouse on marrying us, our children on obeying us. There's all kinds of sales that's done, and we may not think of them as sales. But this is completely different from, I tell people if they come through training and they've had some sales experience, they almost have to forget most of that, don't they?
Oh, definitely. This way's better.
Yeah, it's a very soft sell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We call it
Yeah, it's
consulting.
not.
You're a franchise consultant, Brandy. So that's what we do, is we're consultative type sales, in that we go in and we just consult with them, and we don't have anything to sell them except more revenue. And that should be like selling popsicles in the Sahara Desert, right?
Exactly.
Let's see. Yolanda says, okay, medical offices purchase software or a service. Do you find that once purchased, the medical office, the support is minimal or non-existent? So they may be more open to listening or at least looking at the system you offer. Oh, yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've,
Most companies out there marketing to doctors after the sale, they're gone. With you,
mhm.
Randy, you have to stay in contact with that practice every month, right?
Oh, yes. And I mean, if I'm in the area, I'm going to go by and see them and, have contact and make sure that everything is going well. That's one of the huge benefits is everyone that I've spoken to said, okay, if I have a problem, you're right here. I'm not calling a number that I'm going to be on hold for an hour praying that, somebody's going to finally get my system up and running so I can see patients.
That's right. Okay, Daniel clarified what he was asking about. How is it spelled? He meant the competitor that you mentioned earlier, Athena. That's
Oh,
Athena, right? Athena.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Athena. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Kathy, did you say that the physician has a monthly fee in addition to the medical billing part that I bill them for? Okay, she was saying about costs and what we charge for setup fees and so forth, what the doctor pays. She's saying, did you say that the physician had a monthly fee in addition to the medical billing part that I bill them for? Normally, and I don't know how you did this, Brandy, but normally what you do is you wrap that into your percentage so that the doctor's not thinking of a monthly fee that they're accessing the system with. That's built into your percentage. Is that how you did that with this doctor?
Yes, I like for it to all be packaged up, neat, clean, with a little bow on top because it just made it simpler for the provider.
Yeah, there's no need to break that down. And even though it's very low, I mean, we're talking about $250, $300 a month, depending on how many providers are in the office. That's something you just wrap into. Let's say you're charging, you're charging 7% to the doctor, or that's what you quoted. You might charge 7.25%, just to make sure that you cover that and don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Column says James, I think he's talking about your husband. He said Randy, but he must have misunderstood there. It's James. He mentioned 1 hour of, oh, no, sorry. He's talking about you, Randy. He says, he just spelled it Randy. Mentioned 1 hour of work a week. What is the work and does it vary? So kind of give us a feel for what you're actually doing is in putting in the claims and how
Hmm.
long that takes.
Yeah, and for a provider like this first one that we've signed up, I'm estimating about an hour a day of just entering his claims.
Yeah, because really it's pretty simple, isn't it, to enter the claims into the system.
Yes, it's very, very simple.
Literally, there's a couple of screens that you have to fill out, even if it's a brand new patient. If it's a repeat patient that was here last month, they're in the system, so you pull them up and just put in a couple of codes and a couple of dates, and really it could be less than a minute to do a claim.
Yeah, it's a matter of tab, tab, click, click.
Right, right. Tim says, have you ever thought about using sales reps?
Yes, we have actually been talking about that because James and I can only spread ourselves so far, and there's a lot of area that we'd like to get outside of right here where we live. There's some outer lying towns that we want to get into. So we are looking at utilizing sales reps, and we're basically doing it. We plan on doing it the way ABS had shown us and proven to be successful through percentages and certain dollar amounts when they sign up a new client that they'll get from what we get. Hope that makes
Sure.
sense.
Yeah, and it's on a commission basis, so if they don't bring you any business, you don't owe them anything.
I like
We
that.
have a whole training session on finding and hiring and training and paying sales reps. And that is one way that a lot of people who don't have any interest in marketing, they don't want to, they don't have any time or whatever, they can just utilize sales reps. And I've got licensees, Brandi, who they've never made any kind of call on a doctor. It's all through sales reps that they've built huge businesses. Let's see. Here's one from Simon. Says, how do you keep your billing process up when you have to travel out of town, like on vacation, sickness, etc.? Well, you haven't run into that yet, I don't guess, have you, Brandi?
No, I'm sorry, I can't answer that one, but we have a biller in place. So we always have a backup plan. If she's on vacation, we'll be doing it. So we always have a plan because we have that in place. But sorry, mine goes live on Monday.
Yeah, but remember, folks, this is one of the reasons why you are a part of our network of medical billing offices from coast to coast. We can actually do that billing through some of our licensees with an agreement that we have in place while you're on vacation. And then you just take it back over when you get back. Now you're splitting, some profits with that person, obviously, to make sure that the billing gets done. But that's a no-brainer because remember, it's a cloud-based system. So you give them the login and they can get in there and do your billing while you're gone. Let's see. Yolanda says, if the medical office internet goes down, will the medical office still be able to access the patient files? Nowadays, Yolanda, it's rare that, in business at least, if you have a business internet connection, that ever goes down. But even if it did, I have an internet connection right here in my hand. Now, those of you not seeing this live, I'm holding up my cell phone because you can set up a hotspot on most cell phones that literally your computer, like the one I'm looking at right here in front of me, could connect to this phone and be connected to the internet. Now, it's a little slower than it would be if it were a, high-speed internet connection, but I can still get business done until that internet gets back up. And what are internets, when they do go down, what is it, an hour maybe? I don't know, it's not that long. So it's not usually a big deal. If nothing else, run down to your local, Starbucks. Or any hotel lobby will let you use their Wi-Fi in the lobby free. Okay, so let's see. Here's another one from Kathy. How do you receive the information for the claims? So how do you plan to get this information from your doctor, Brandi?
Well, the systems that EMRX and the iClaim talk to each other. So it all just basically, as soon as he does the visit, puts it in on his iPad, boom, I have it instantaneously because it's cloud-based.
That's right. So to answer that a different way, even if the doctor is not using an electronic medical record system like ours, there is still an online cloud-based document management system. We call it iDocs Now. I think it's probably one of these. Oh, here it is right here. iDocs Now allows you to set it up so that the doctor could scan in the data from pieces of paper. Let's say they're still on paper. And Brandi, I don't know if you found this out yet, but there are doctors who are still doing billing on paper, believe it or not. And they can just scan it right into the iCloud system. You have access to that. You open it up on your screen. There it is, and you put it into our system. So you can still do it without any paper involved whatsoever. Karen says, how do you receive the claims? Oh, same question. Okay. Well, hey, I got about 6 till, Brandi. Let me see if there's any other pertinent questions here. Some of them I have kind of skipped over because they have to do with our opportunity. And folks, if you're asking things about our opportunity, you should probably get back with the person who invited you to the webinar. But Brandi, what would you suggest to anybody who are looking at they're the same place you are or you were a few months back doing their due diligence? What should you tell them to do to make sure that this is really the right opportunity for them?
Well, I mean, make the calls that they're telling you, call and talk to other licensees, um, do your research. Don't believe everything that you read online, though. I will tell you that from years of experience with franchise consulting, just because one person's mad doesn't mean anything. Um, but honestly, everything that we were told has been completely legitimate, completely correct. I was seeing physicians out there in the field who were complaining about their billing and not getting paid and their reimbursements. I mean, they complained about everything, and that was one reason that we knew ABS was a great opportunity. Um, and everything that they have ever told us has been completely valid. So I say quit wasting time and sign up now, but that's just my opinion.
Well, thank you, Brandi. Hey, I appreciate so much you and James being on here today. I think for a lot of people, they might think somewhere down the line that they would like to maybe ask you a question that they didn't think of on the webinar today. Would you mind if I told them to get back with their ABS business coach here at our office and maybe get in contact with you if they want to ask you some questions?
Oh, definitely. We're here to help. We're open. Like I said, we know the franchise world. We know the doctor side of things. We know this business. So yeah, we're open to help anything, any way we can.
Well, thanks again, Brandi, for being on here. I appreciate that so much. I hope that you guys continue to. Hope those practice analyses you're doing next week end up with even more clients. So great, good, quick start for you guys to get right out of class and get into this thing.
Yes, very exciting. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate everything.
You're welcome. Thanks again, Brandi. Bye for now.
Bye.
You can just click those mute and webcam buttons there to get out of it. I guess I think that's the best way, or maybe you can leave the thing some way.
Okay, I'll get out of it. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to address just a couple of other questions here for people who are still on and want to know a little bit more about that training that we're doing at the end of the month here. Well, next week it's of course full and sold out, but we do have another one coming up in June, of course, June 13th through the 17th. I'm also going to address a few other questions that I see here that we did not get to and that really weren't directly aimed at Brandi. Meanwhile, I'm going to put up our money back guarantee for those of you who are not familiar with it. Folks, we let you come to our training workshop, and for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, just tell any staff member and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee.